Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the live Team Alliance training session for Thursday, December 12th, 2019. Time right now is approximately 10:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Before we get started with tonight's training, as usual, I would like to welcome our new students. Those of you who are joining us, in training for the first time. Whether you're in attendance with us live here tonight or you are watching the replay of this, you've definitely made a wise decision by choosing to train here with us. There's going to be a great deal of information that's going to be shared with you with regards to the markets, the way that we interpret the market, and then what we do specifically with that information. More importantly than that, you're going to really learn how to focus on the mindset aspect of what we need to do in order to trade successfully. So that has more to do with patience, discipline, focus. Those personal elements that we have to constantly be working on are imperative. They are not optional things that we're doing. In other words, if you want to be successful, regardless of what type of framework or methodology you're using in the market, if you don't learn to develop patience and discipline, you'll lose anyway. Because you're not going to wait for the market to present you with the wins. In other words, if I give you a winning framework to use that wins all the time, if you don't have the patience to wait for the market to give you the win, you'll do other stuff. And that doing other stuff will lead to you losing. So that's how you can take something that is winning and you can still lose because you're deviating from what you're being given that does win. So that's how I like to kind of explain the mindset elements of what it is that we do. You got to develop patience. And it's something that we work on ongoing all the time. Just a matter of just learning how to be patient and wait for the market. The market is going to give you what you're looking for, what you're waiting for. You just have to learn to be patient and wait for the market to give it up. And you'll be rewarded for that patience in the end because the consistency of your winning trades is going to be pretty much 100%. Like, you're not going to lose if you do that. Put it like that. Those of you who are new, inside of the playlist, and if I did not share the playlist with you yet, I will make sure that you have it by the end of tonight's training. But inside of the playlist, there are 3 trainings that I want you to begin with. The first one is 336, the next one is 396, and the last one is 301, in that order. Once you get to number 301, you need to have that particular training literally on repeat every day. You need to get yourself a pair of earbuds and you need to plug in and listen to that training in particular every single day. The reason I'm saying listen to it is because even if you can't visually watch the training, you know, if you're looking at your laptop or maybe you have your phone, but you can't look at the phone at the time, if you can hear the information, you are training. And as a matter of fact, you're training at an even higher level because you're doing subconscious training. That's where the information is flowing directly to you at the subconscious level, and your brain is recording it. What that does is it positions you for at a later time to have the light bulb moments that I like to call. When you get light bulb moments, you get clarity. Stuff starts to make sense. You begin to understand the various things that we train on all the time, and you just start getting it. So you will have a lot of questions in the beginning. I encourage you to write your questions down, and as you write your questions down and then you re-listen to 301, the questions get answered. It works. Like, this is the process that I'm giving you. If you follow the process and you trust in it, the process definitely works, and you will elevate in your training and in your skill ultimately. So aside from that, I think that that's all I really wanted to go into with regard to those elements. of training. I want to actually get into some market stuff, and I want to get into some testing. I want to get into some exams for tonight. If you guys have questions, please feel free to ask your questions. I know some of you have already watched 301. You might have questions regarding the framework. You know, you might have questions about whatever it is. Ask your questions, whatever they might be. Don't hesitate. Don't feel like your question is silly. If you got questions, ask them, because that's how some of the greatest clarity comes. It comes through your questions. So tonight I want to focus on 3 things, and I'm actually going to tell you what one of them is. The other 2 things, I want you guys to tell me what they are. When we're working with our framework, the most important part of the framework as far as the market is concerned is stability. Okay? Like, we've already basically identified that. We know that stability is at the forefront. Without stability, nothing that we're ultimately looking to do is going to be effective, because it means that the market basically is erratic and is doing a bunch of stuff that we cannot be connected to with any level of precision. Stability in the market allows us to be precise with the other parts of our process. And that's why ultimately we end up winning our trades. We know that stability has to be there. And if stability is not there, it dismisses everything else. You see? So I'm going to present some scenarios. And I think I'm actually going to look at another pair, because the pound, there's a lot going on with the pound right now. They're doing this stuff with the voting, and it's just affecting the movement. So, like, I mean, you can see how these candles look. They look just ridiculously. They look like the Twin Towers. Like, this looks like the Twin Towers right here. You know, it's moving off of the charts, and you can't even see the options. So I'm going to switch to another market for tonight, although the only market that I trade is the pound. And I recommend that whatever market that you decide to observe, that be the only market that you observe. Like, don't skip around and try to look at 4 or 5 different markets at once. Don't get into the habit of doing that. You want to stick to your market because you want to learn the nuances of how your market moves. The movement of the market is the key for everything that we do. So as you observe and study your market and become more familiar with it, it will begin to stick as far as your understanding of the little subtle things that your market does. There are things each market does. It's not that they're doing different things. They're doing the same things, but they're doing it at different times. So the timings are different. The overall behaviors are different. And you should learn the nuances of your particular market. When you familiarize yourself with it by only studying that market, it elevates you and it gives you an edge over everybody else that's trading against you in that market. It works. Like, you're really going to be even more consistent when it comes to the recognition of what our framework is, because you're focusing just on the market that you trade instead of trying to hop around and do other stuff. So that's another thing that I recommend that you do. So I'm going to give you a scenario. We're going to say that the market is stable. Right? Overall market is stable. What else do you need in order to ultimately end up being in a trade? And I'm actually skipping something, but I'm doing that on purpose. That's part of the test. But I want you to tell me there are 2 specific things that you have to have in addition to stability in order to be in a trade. Ramon has one of them. What's the other one? Ramon, Stan, Guillaume. You have all said one of them. There's another one. It's two main things that you have to have. Stan says stability. No, because you already have that. Stability is the first thing. There's two other things. One of them is what you guys have already said. Don't worry about it. Very good, Ramon. Very good. So, this is an acronym that I'm going to use to remind us of the placement. It's S.P.P. Stability, positioning, and pricing. Now, I'm not adding anything. What I'm doing is I'm focusing on specific things that encompass everything else. So, for example, in the protocol, give me examples of what falls under stability. Give me an example of something that falls under the umbrella of stability. Very good. That's it. What Ramon just said, that's it right there. Slow speed and the right behavior. Bingo. Akari, Joel, they concur. Give me an example of something that would fall under position. Very good. Very good. Akari nailed it right away. Distance. Distance. What else? Think about relativity. When you say distance, what is that relevant to? Or I should say relative to, excuse me. What is distance? There we go. The strike. The strike price. Right? So when I say position, it encompasses distance and the strike price. Right? What would fall under pricing? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Whoa. That's a mic drop right there. Akari is heavily on the vibe this evening. Synchronization. Synchronization, that is it. All right, so you see how everything that we always make reference to is falling under one of those three things. It's just like I focus on stability. Without a doubt. We focus on that, right? Now, when you have stability, where does your focus now direct to? Or I should say redirect to. Where do you point the laser after stability's there? That you gotta have. Akari Rich are saying option pricing. Think harder. Nico said position. Nico, why did you say position? And Ramon is saying distance and pricing, so you have it also. So why are you guys saying position and distance? Why you saying that? Like, I want you to elaborate on that. Why would that be what you would focus on after stability's there? Very good. Look at what Nico says. Because the price of the market has to be in position relative to the strike. Right? When you have that, what does that produce? When the indicative moves in position relative to the strike, what's the fruit of that? What's the product of that? Pricing. See? The pricing. And just like Ikari keeps saying when he says synchronization, now when I say it's not in sync, when you think of it in this order, you begin to make more sense of what that means. It's just like if I say, nah, it's out of sync. If I'm saying it's out of sync, you know what I'm making reference to, right? You know that specifically, if it's out of sync, that means stability is present. If it's out of sync, that means that the market actually could be in position. But if it's out of sync, what's missing? Pricing. Option pricing. See how that works? So when you think of the acronym S.P.P, it's in order. Stability has to be there first. Just think about what the protocol brings you to. When you go through phases 1 and 2, what does that produce? It produces stability. So now, after stability is present, you know that in order for there to be favorable pricing at all, which is a part of the third phase, that the market would need to be in position. Relative to what? Relative to the strike price. So now when you think and you watch and observe the market, the order that you're looking at things in is more precise. It's like, all right, stability's there, boom. Now I needed to get in position relative to a strike price. Well, why do you need that? Because that's the only way that favorable pricing will be produced. Well, why do you need favorable pricing? Because that's the only way that it will sync up with the position of the market. And when it does that with stability present, that's the right time. So you see how, even though I'm going through this entire thing, the reference that I'm making is still more so to timing, not the trade. It's the timing. And S.P.P will help you to remember the order of what you're waiting to see. You know that if stability is there, you still need the market to be in position. If it moves in position, now it can potentially produce favorable option pricing because it's in position relative to a strike price. So that means that the option pricing of that strike can now reflect favorable pricing. It's in position to reflect favorable pricing while stability is there. And you're always remembering the order that you're seeing it in. Stability, position, pricing. Mind you, it's not even that I'm talking about something different. It's the same exact thing. This is the protocol. What I'm saying is the protocol that we use. Stability is phases 1 and 2, locked in. Position, you know, is when the market now needs to actually position itself relative to a strike price. So for example, if you're just applying parameters after phases 1 and 2, you already know that things are going to be DQ'd until there's positioning. Am I right? Why is everything going to be a DQ until the market is in position? Why? Tell me that. Very good. You ain't going to have no pricing. Just like when I test you with that, and I'm like, all right, what DQ'd that one? And you say, oh, on that one, it was out of position. out of position is going to come before there was no pricing. Because the market being out of position is the reason that there's no pricing. You see how why my questions are actually testing the way that you're seeing the market flow. If you have stability, and then when you look under the minute mark and you're seeing that there's no pricing on the options, and I ask you, well, what DQ'd this first? Your response to that question should be, it's out of position. Then it would be pricing. Because the reason that there is no pricing is because it's out of position. That's the first thing that is DQing the trade, or DQing that actual binary. Does that make sense? So it's just a matter of just remembering the structure and the order. And every time that you do that, you know exactly what it is that you're waiting for each time. Matthew said, quick reminder, you've already been doing this. Please don't confuse yourselves. Exactly. Look what Shahara said. I see this all the time. See, like this whole dialogue and discussion that I'm giving right now, all it's doing is making you use the other side of your brain a little bit. Mind you, it's the same thing that we do already. That's why this is powerful, because just by looking at it from this perspective, this will likely help someone that might be confused already. Like, this might be the light bulb moment for a bunch of people. And of course, I'm going to make sure that it's not confusing everybody else. So that's why when I'm talking through it, I'm still incorporating everything that you're already used to hearing. That's why I asked you, well, what falls under position? You right away, you can tell me, oh, that's distance in the strikes. Because when the market's in position, what does that even mean? That means the price is actually positioned relative to a strike, which would mean we need the distance. We need the distance for what? We need the distance so that we get pricing. Well, how do we know what that is? The parameters. So you see, you understand what I'm saying? Everything we do already falls in line with that. It's already in line with it. We already do it. Yes. Bingo. Y'all are hitting it on the head. Hitting it on the head. Very good. Jay is saying he can't hear. What do y'all see? Y'all see a mic and speakers icon, or y'all see something else? It's a phone, right? It's a phone icon that you'll see first. Hopefully that works for him. Okay, hopefully that works. Jay, if you can hear now, let me know. Yep, very good. It looks like MRMH with the market to be out of sync. Right. Right. Okay. Jay, you got audio now, yes? Okay, very good. You're messaging me privately. When you look in the chat, there's a drop-down box where that little arrow is. Slide that up to where it says everyone, so that everybody can see your messages when you type in the chat. Yep. So that right there, as I was thinking today, I was like, that right there helps, because stability is the first product that you need. Now, what I mean by that is stability is not the first process that you do, is it? What's the first process you do? Nico already typed it out. First process is phase one. So it's like the process always remains intact because you're doing the process as you're waiting for the product. When the whole thing of waiting for stability means that you got to do 1 and 2, the first 2 phases. You don't get the product. Like, you don't get the first product without the first 2 processes. This is how you never do it wrong. It's like, you can't do it wrong. And this is what will prevent you from jumping into another phase that you don't belong in, because you know what has to be there first all the time. You know that stability is the first product that you have to have. Then it would be the position of the market relative to a strike. And you know what that produces. That produces the pricing. And when they sync up, that produces the MRMH. And when you have the MRMH, then that produces the follow-through trades now that you can take. You see what I'm saying? It just continues to go in order and in line. And you're doing this whole process all the time. All I'm doing right now is just giving clarity to the individual processes within the process and what each one produces. So it's like a math problem. You remember the long math problem you used to have to do? Like, you'll be given, you gotta, and when you break it down, you're doing each one individually first. Like, when it's typed out, it looks crazy. It'll be 3 times 3 plus 4 times 9 divided by 4 plus 8. You know what I'm saying? When you look at that, you're like, oh man, this looks crazy. But it's very simple to do when you just do each one individually and in order. It's just like 3 times 3 is 9 plus 2 is 11 times 3 is 33. So it's like by the time you actually get to the end of it, the number that you end up with don't have anything to do with what the process was. But that's what the actual product is. That's the end result of the process. And it's all connected. But to get to the product, all you do is the functionality of the process in order each time. And that's it. So that's why when you're training and you're listening to 301, you start to understand the framework. You start to understand what phases 1 and phase 2 and the parameter. You're starting to pick up on the terminology. You're starting to understand how it looks in the market. That's what this is now that I'm giving you. It's the same thing. It's now you're dealing with the product of that. Phase 1 is phase 1 plus 2 equals stability. Stability is the answer to phase 1 and 2. Position is how you get the qualification for favorable option pricing. And when that's synced up while the market's in position, that produces the MRMH. You're doing it already, but I'm just breaking it down visually and verbally so that you can just absorb the individual pieces of the process with a little bit more clarity. And that way you never skip anything because you're always waiting for whatever the next thing is. It's just like once you solve 3 times 3, you know that that's 9. The next part of the problem is 9 plus something. It might be 9 plus 50. Okay, so now that's 59. It's like, wow, we got 59 out of that so far. But you're not finished. Then you got to do 59 times 4. But it's very easy to do when you do them in order and you don't try to skip. So that's what we're doing. We're reinforcing that process of never skipping any piece of the process. And that's how we always keep everything in check, including ourselves and our patience. See, because you need the patience to wait until you have where you are right now. It's like you dialing into the GPS to figure out where you are right now. What's your current location? GPS can't tell you where to go if it don't know where you are, right? What's the first thing you type into the GPS? Your current location. Now it has, all right, so you here. Where you trying to go? Oh, you trying to go there? Okay, this is how you get there. Then you plug in the destination after you have typed in the current location where you are. It's the same process for us. Yes, mechanics of the process. Ramon, so synchronization is the indicative matching up exactly with the pricing, both indicating exactly where the market is positioning itself so that we can make the best possible decision of when to take the trade. Yes. Yes, that is exactly what happens. And then that right there will supersede the time. Because you know how people be like, well, when should I take the trade? Because now you're thinking, well, how much time left on the clock should there be for me to take the trade? When you do the process, you'll just automatically know that. Because that's not a static number. It's not like, oh, well, I'm going to wait till it's 35 seconds left. What if when you got MRMH, it priced out at 40 seconds? Now because you put that curve fit on, if a follow-through trade comes, you won't take it because you're waiting for 35 seconds because that's what you have in your mind that they're supposed to be left on the clock. You see what I'm saying? That's why we never curve fit. We always allow the market to dictate everything that goes on. Everything, including that time. When we see the time of the price out, that's guidance for when the follow-through trades come. If they come. Rich said, doing things yard by yard is hard. Doing it inch by inch is a cinch. Very good. Another mental checklist tool. Yes. Ramon, adding this to a slow environment can assure us that the trade will go our way once the market is in sync. Yes. 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 Yep. And that's how we do it. And that right there is the reason that you are always best off taking your time and slowing down everything. Slow down your processes. Like, you know, for some of you, you might be anxious once you begin to get light bulbs. You know, you feel like, oh man, I got it. Let me start taking some trades in the demo and practicing. Let me let you know right now that practicing doesn't even mean taking trades. Practicing means seeing the process with precision. That's what practice is. Remember that the trade is the fruit at the end. you're going to end up in a trade ultimately because you were unable to disqualify. That's not something that you're doing proactively. That's not a proactive thing. That is what's happening as a result of the process that you're executing. And that's why the practice is the process. And, you know, I understand that it's a little difficult for people to grasp at first. But then when you just do it, it becomes so easy to do. It's just easy. After a while, it becomes like second nature. Like you just do it automatically. You're not even thinking about it. Like I'm able to talk about it because I do it so well. But the only reason that I do it so well is because I've reinforced it over and over and over and over again. So now I can communicate each piece. And that's why when I break it down, it just makes sense. It's like, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, it does do that. That's exactly what we're doing. You're right. Because it's like you can't dissect what you don't do well. When you do it well, now you can dissect how you're doing it. That's where I'm at. That's the level that I've elevated to. That's why my communication makes it easier for you to understand the process to begin with. It's just like how some people don't pick up on it right away. You're really not supposed to pick up on it right away. It takes repetition for you to start picking up on anything. And that's the part that sometimes people forget. They're like, well, how long is this supposed to take me, though? How long is it supposed to take you is not the question at all. As a matter of fact, that's not even a question. Put it like that. It's not even a question. It's not even relevant to anything. Not even relevant. There is no spoon. Rich said, let me add this winning skill to my losing actions. Don't do that. Right. Right. Ikari said, trade the fruit at the end. Got to learn how to grow the tree first. Ooh. Come on. Come on. Rich, the aim is to become fully competent. Eat the skill. This is good. This is good. Ramon, DQs are signals of instability, which is the attempt by the market of showing us when there are factors that will throw the synchronization of the market off. And learning how to detect it will assure our victory. Ramon, you do that again, it's good night. Rich said the aim is to become fully competent at the skill. Bingo. Yeah, you itching for the mic drop. That's hard right there. I'm gonna read that one more time. DQs are signals of instability, which is the attempt by the market of showing us when there are factors that will throw the synchronization of the market off. And learning how to detect it will assure our victory. We're going to look at some binaries. What's this? This is a euro, right? Let me see what else is here. I'll pull up the Aussie too. And let me also go to the pound. See what that's looking like. Yeah, pound's still all over the place. Okay, so I'll stick to the euro and to the Aussie for now. All right, that's the Aussie, and here's the euro. Okay, euro looks good actually. Yeah, euro actually looks good. So we're gonna see what that is looking like. If I remember correct, I think Walker had mentioned the MRMH earlier today on the euro, if I'm not mistaken. Nikolai said the pound broke 5-year resistance. That's interesting. That is interesting. Let me take a look real quick at the pound on a big chart. I haven't done this in a long time. I'm gonna look at this on a longer term chart real quick, because I see the numbers are retarded now. Last time I saw the pound, seemed like last week it was under 3,000. Or am I bugging out? Like, wasn't last week we were like 1.29 something? Now it's at 34. That's like almost 500 pips. Let me see something real quick. Let me look at a 4-hour chart. This used to be my favorite time frame when I was on Forex. Let's trade Forex. Get some of these lines out of here. I don't know how long I had these lines on this chart. Four-hour chart. When was this? This was November 17th. Yeah, 3,000. So it broke above 3,000 on December 4th. So that was 8 days. And then this right here, this was today. So this was that news. Well, not really news, but the voting or whatever's going on created that spike going up. Yeah. There's a volatility spike right here. And you see it's carrying over into the 4-hour candle that we're on now. See that? That cross? Just back and forth, back and forth. Alright, so that was interesting. The euro. Right, Parliament. That's right. Thank you. Thank you. That's what it was. Yep. Yeah, definitely Brexit. Definitely Brexit. Ooh, that's hard. Rich said, rather than knowing our way out of the minefield, we're learning where the mines are at. Whoa. Damn. But that's crazy, man. Right. Ramon said, we ain't ready to go to bed yet. Relax. Yo, Ramon is like, yo, relax, man. He's like, I calm down. You need to calm down. Man. I get excited by the Nuggets because the Nuggets are real to me. Like, the Nuggets are not just stuff that we say. The Nuggets is really what we do. That's why I always react like that. Yes, indeed. All right, so let me start I'm gonna start boxing in these end of the binaries. Do a little play-by-play. So this right here was the 1055. This was the 1050 over here. Okay. And what the Aussie looking like? For the newcomers, what I'm boxing is the last minute of the binary. Last minute of the binary. Right. Behind Enemy Lines. That was a good movie. Rich, you got the EJ up too? I haven't looked at the yen pairs in I don't know how long, like years. I used to trade the pound yen, actually. I traded the pound yen when I was trading Forex. There was a specific, I guess, methodology that I kind of had set up, and it worked very well with pairs that had high volatility. So I used to be having the GJ up, and that was at a time when the pound yen, the way that it used to move, it would move like 1,000 pips, like in a day, 500 to 1,000 pips on any given day. It was insanity. And it used to trend a lot. Everyone said, you don't need to see all that mess. He said he look at that while he taking a week off. I got you. Rich, talk about that a little bit. You took a week off from Project 21 just because you're busy, like just with life stuff, right? Because I think I remember you saying that from the recap, that you wanted to take off because you knew that you were going to be kind of inundated with stuff. So you didn't want your focus to be thrown off. So you just fell back. Oh, excuse me. Oh, you got family with you. Got you. Okay. He said, wife, you needed some rich time. Yeah, definitely focus and discipline. Yeah, especially with the baby. So, okay, I see what you mean. So they're like spending more time there now that, you know, the baby is so fresh. Everybody's just enjoying that time. Definitely understand. That is a beautiful time though when your kids is first born. Like those early months. It's beautiful, man. You can't get it back. And it'd be different for each of them too. Like when my son was small, that experience with him was nothing like my daughter. My daughter she took it to a whole nother level. She just would not sleep. She had colic, you know, so she was like real gassy. It was a lot. You know, you trying to do stuff to give her relief, and she just, she won't sleep. Now, now she sleep ridiculously hard. 8 years later. Take me 20 minutes to wake up. Let me see. He said they traveled here from the UK, so yeah, however they going out right now, so training it is. Yeah. Man, that's a that's a lot. So how long are they supposed to be here for? Another 2 months? Whoa. Yeah, you can looking for more. Right, it is like, oh man, these are in-laws. So it's like, all right. You be like, I know you, but I don't know you know you. Oh man. See what this EU does real quick. So in this example here, now that we're looking at this, you see that there's pricing on this particular option now, right? My question is, why is there pricing on the option at this moment? Why is there pricing? Right. There's pricing because there is distance relative to the strike. So now this is where we drill down and we're looking at the amount of distance. So in this particular instance, you had about 2 micropips away from the strike. Now you got 3 micropips away from the strike. And you can see by looking at what the indicative is doing, of course, what the behavior is. That's how we know whether or not the market is stable. So we can see from this example that the market is stable. Now, when you're looking at the pricing and what the distance was just now, just as an example, the reason that we had pricing at all is because of the position of the market relative to this strike price. So now it would just simply be a matter of waiting for the position of the market to meet our requirements. That's phase 3 for us, the parameters, right? We have the parameters in place, and in addition to that, when you have option pricing and it's favorable, meaning that it did not price out yet, in conjunction with the indicative being in position, that is in sync. When those two are cohesive, that's when the market is in sync on the platform. And then what that will produce is the right timing. Not timing as in, oh, well, how much time left on the clock. Timing as in, now is the appropriate time if the trade sets up for us to take the trade. Of course, we are getting permission first because we are waiting to actually observe it. Like, we want to see an actual trade, validate, set up, present the right time, and all of the above. All the parameters being met, yada, yada, yada. When that takes place, that becomes the permission slip, MRMH. And then what takes place after that, which would basically be something similar to what you saw, that will become the follow-through trade. And throughout that entire time is just simply continued observation to make sure that stability is still present, to make sure that the market ultimately moves into a position that's relevant. In other words, it may not stay in this position. Maybe to go above the strike, or maybe it might move down to this strike. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter where it moves. It's the fact that it's moving into a position that's relevant. And then once it does that, stability being present, and then ultimately, because it's in the new position, which is relevant to a strike, you then see favorable option pricing as well. And then the process repeats itself. And then that would represent follow-through. So, like, I'm going through this just to give examples and scenarios of what everything means. Like when we say MRMH and we say permission and we say follow-through trades. The follow-through trades are the trades we actually take. MRMH is the trade that we observe. That's what takes place first. That's what gives us permission to take follow-through trades that come after the trade that we observe. So this is just reinforcement of the things that we do already. Yeah, that was a very nice countdown. Yes, it was. Ramon, I know you like the range tool. So I know you like, you know, you want to do this right here. I know. I know. Like this right here. You see how the pricing is out? Distance requirement is met, but there's no pricing on the option. So it's slightly out of sync because the timing of the option pricing basically went away before there was an opportunity to do anything. And that's fine. It's cool. The market can do a number of things. It might remain in this position, or it might move to a new position and repeat the same thing. And what I will say also is that more often than not, when you see that the market has been in a position that has created a range for a while, the likelihood of the option pricing out like that is higher. Like you're more likely to see it pricing out like that. When it moves into a new position and establishes itself relative to a new option or even the other side of the same option, you will see a tendency of the market to reflect option pricing again. That's another, I guess you could call that a nuance. But this is what you'll see for yourself when you study. You'll see that. MRMH confirms that stability in the market matched with the synchronization of the market. Bingo. Joel says, so we in phase 3? Yep. Oh, Ramon, out of sync can have the timing of behavior off. Definitely. Definitely can. And let me think about that for a second, because I want to make sure that we understand with clarity where the timing of behavior falls. Timing of behavior falls under stability. So if you're seeing that the timing of behavior is off to a degree, then the market is still working on becoming stable. It's not there yet. You don't get into the market being out of sync until stability is present. Remember S.P.P. Stability, position, and pricing. Pricing is where in sync and out of sync falls underneath, because it's relative and relevant to the position of the indicative and the availability of pricing on the option. That's what in sync means. Out of sync means that it's not doing that, but the market is stable. So I'm glad that we're actually bringing up these things, because this is actually giving more clarity to the terminology. Out of sync, timing of behavior, they are two totally different things. Yep, two totally different things. Like this, for example. Now you see how if you use the range tool, you can see how this lasted from 11:02 until 11:11, so about 9 minutes. So roughly about 2 binaries. Now you see how it's moving into a new position? You see this? When it moves into a new position like this, now you're more likely to see pricing in the new position for the other option that it moved to. So it shifted from this option to this one. And if it moves in position relative to this strike, you're now more likely to see pricing available, because it moved into a new position in the market. So that's just a nuance that you will see for yourself as well. You'll recognize that. There's less of a chance for you to have pricing when it ranges like this, unless you're catching it at the beginning of the move where it initially moved into position. And we actually did see that, because on this one right here, that 11:05, you did have pricing here. It wasn't there for long, but it was there. So it's the same thing whenever it's moving into a new position. Like, look at this. You see this? You see how you have pricing here? It's in a new position. That's why you're seeing pricing initially. Even with seconds left on the binary, you still have pricing here. As long as you know that the market is stable, you know now, all right, if it's in this position now and the market continues to remain stable, it'll hold this position potentially relative to this strike. So now when the next binary rolls over, if it's still relevant as far as its position to this strike price, when you get to that minute mark on the binary, you'll likely see pricing on the option. You see, the chance of it actually syncing up is higher now, because the market actually moved into a new position. So it's like it started from fresh, but stability is still there. And that's what we also are able to detect when the market does that. Because I know that the question comes up like, you know, well, why does it keep getting priced out? Well, when you see ranges like this, because the market has been sitting in that range of movement for the duration of time that it was there for, that has something to do with it. Prices out. It prices out. When it moves into a new position, It's establishing a new position now. That option that it moved to now becomes relevant. You're more likely to see pricing on it. This is good stuff. Good stuff. Did you guys have questions? Did anyone have a question about anything? I think, well, let me take a look in the list real quick, see who's here. I want to make sure anyone that did not get the playlist yet gets the playlist. I think Jay is here. Who else is here? Okay, I see Jay, and I thought I saw Steve, but I'm not sure. All right, Joel, during the opening of a new position, that's when you see an MRMH, but that's when you're more likely to see an MRMH. Ramon, I feel like it's also important to see dominant move hold behavior right before the minute mark in order to have a successful trade when a follow-through opportunity arises. I agree. Like on the last 2 minutes of the binary. Yeah, you can do that. You can definitely do that. Because what that does is help to solidify what you are suspecting that you're seeing. So yes, definitely. Jay, MRMH, that's what you're going to learn the mechanics of in video 301. So actually, I'm going to make sure that I send you the playlist. Let me do it right now, because I don't want to forget. I'm going to do it right now, as a matter of fact. I'm going to send you the playlist, and inside of the playlist, you're going to watch the videos that I mentioned, 336, 396, and 301. And I actually believe it was Ronald. I think Ronald was the other person that needed the playlist. So Ronald and Jay, you guys need the playlist. So I'm going to do that right now real quick. Okay, so you are here, Steve. Very good then. Yeah, I thought I saw you come in also. All right, cool. Let me I'm going to shoot it to you guys right now, because I do not want to forget. Okay, so Ronald, you have it. Jay, you have it. And Steve, you have it. Oh, Steve, you're not seeing the screen? What device are you on? You're on a computer trying to access free conference call? But you're on the phone dialed in, or you're on the phone on the app? Like you called into the number, or are you using the app on the phone? Did you dial a phone number to hear me talking? Or did you follow the instructions in the email and download the app on the phone for free conference call? Okay, so you're on the app and you're saying that you don't see it on the phone. I got you. All right, I'm not sure why that is. You should actually see the screen if you're using the app. But I've never used the app on the phone. I think I'm actually going to do that so I can see what you guys see. And then maybe I can offer some assistance in the future. Because I have no idea what you're seeing or not seeing. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure that you'll get it. I'm sure that you'll get it. Stan said, why does it seem simpler on Nadex Mobile? Well, Stan, why are you saying that? Why are you saying that it seems simpler? What seems simpler? The process? When are you going to bed? It's 11:30. Stan says the 3 steps plus the strike price. You mean the 3 phases? The protocol? It's the same on mobile that it is on a computer. Same exact things. Matter of fact, if I take the chart away, this is more like what you see on the mobile because you're only seeing the prices of the option and you're only able to see the indicative, which is one of the reasons why I like to do the quick glance, which is this, because that emulates what you are doing on mobile. Like you don't need the chart technically because you're looking at the price of the actual market and you're looking at the option prices. So you really don't need the chart. But when I train, the chart is a good visual for those of you who are newer, so you can kind of just begin to get clarity on the mechanics of how the price should be positioned relative to the strike, you know, and you just make more sense out of things because you have the visual. But it's the same exact thing on mobile that it is on the computer. Yeah, exactly. Less distractions. Yep. Stan says you're right because I got 2 trades on mobile, lost 3 trades on the computer. That's in your mind. And Stan, are you recording? Because I want to see what you're doing. I want to see what trade you took that loss. And what you took that won, for that matter. That's another thing that I want to mention. I started mentioning that yesterday on training. I want to reiterate and to reinforce. Recording should be something that becomes a habit. You want to record your trades. You want to record your trades. He said he took 3 losses filling out the platform. Not on live, though. You mean in the demo account? Oh, okay, in demo. I got you. All right. Yeah, I feel a lot better now. There you go. That's all it is. That's all it is. Your demo account, treat it like the live account. Stan said it's some serious stuff. Correct. Do not create bad habits. Yeah, when you're on the demo is great for learning how to navigate the platform. Absolutely. Familiarizing yourself with how the mechanics of the platform work. Yep. But you have got to start recording. Yes, the 3 phases are definitely a must. Start recording and then just throwing the trades in the group chat. Even if you didn't take a trade, I want to see what you think might be MRMH. Like if you think there's something that's MRMH, record it. And then throw it in the group chat. You know, is this MRMH? So we can see. If I can see what you're doing, I can definitely help you with more accuracy as far as what you need to work on. Because it might be something simple, you know, but I can't know that if you don't show me anything. Rich also reveals your level of understanding so it can be worked on. Exactly. Exactly. This is a collective effort by all of us to help one another. You know, so it's not, you're not alone. Like, you're never left by yourself to fend for yourself. You're here with us. And it's more than just me, too. I'm not always around. But there's plenty of wisdom in the group chat. You post, a trade or something that you did, and you have a video for it, and you show, and everybody looks at it, and you get the feedback, you're going to get what you need. I guarantee you. Whether I'm there or not. Because the elevation that we have is really insane. It really is. You have some very, very good traders at this point in the group. From the pros to the newbies, there's a breadcrumb trail leading you to the right place. Exactly. Exactly. You are not alone. Who's that, Michael Jackson? That's Mike, right? Yeah, he did sing that, right? Yeah, that's Mike Jackson. Yeah, Stan know what it is. That's MJ. Believe Michael, you're not alone. What? Stan, when were you born? He said he's a 90s kid. What year were you born? 1990. Sheesh. I don't know why I always be thinking people are older than they are. Oh my goodness. A lot of old souls. 1990. What is this, 2019? So you're 29, right? Is that 29? Yeah, 29. Wow. Turning 29 on Sunday. Nice. Well, we'll be back on training on Sunday, so we're going to train on your birthday. 29 is a good year because it's the last year of your 20s. Enjoy. You about to cross over. It all changes when you hit 30, man. No, I'm just joking. You know how everybody says that. Oh, man, when you hit 25, it's all over. Then when you hit 30, then it's all over again. Steve said 51. Don't laugh. I'm with you, Steve. I'm with you. Damn, somebody do the math on that real quick. It's 1951, so that is 49. 2000 would be 49, so that's 58. That's 58, right? See how good my math is. I think that's yeah. Yeah, I think so. Oh no, I'm off by 10 years. Oh wow, yeah. Steve is a young man. Steve is a young man. 68 is the new 48, man. No worries. That's what I be telling myself now. I'm like 40's the new 20. All right, so this was a solid training tonight, without a doubt. So you guys, I believe that you all have the playlist now. Definitely make sure that you watch those videos in order: 336, 396, 301. Once you get to 301, that really needs to remain on repeat. That's how you're gonna get to understand the framework for what we're doing, is from 301. So when you have questions about anything, write them down and then press play again. And as you do that, the answers come to the questions that you wrote down. It works. This process works. Jay, it's in the Facebook Messenger chat with me that we had. That we still have. Remember when you asked for the password? In that chat. So I just shared it there just now. Any communication from me is going to be in the chat on Facebook, whether I give it to you or you communicate with me. I'll always see when you message me there. And if I have information for you specifically and directly, I will message you there. And also stay connected in the group chat. Like I said, if you have questions about stuff, ask in the group chat. Get into the habit of recording. You don't know how to record, you don't know what to use, ask in the group chat. Any question that you have, ask in the group chat. Yeah, man, we close. What's tonight? I think tonight is what, 490? Yeah, tonight is 490, man. It's crazy. 10 away from 500. It's insanity. 500 live trainings, man. All right, people. So tonight's training will be available within about a half hour. We'll be back on training on Sunday. So remember that tomorrow the market closes 4 o'clock. And I'll be doing the YouTube live, and I'll also be doing the recap at Starbucks. So I will check you out all mañana. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Wrapping up Project 21. Yeah, so Rich, where are you right now still? 16, right? 16 in? Okay. Right, because you took this week off. Got you. All right, so yeah, that's 5 away. Yeah, I think I did I did 17 actually last night by accident. I thought yesterday in the middle of the night when I was up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, I thought it was Monday. I have no idea why, but I did. And I'm up, and I happened to be looking at the charts at the time. Took trade number 17 for the project. Yeah, definitely no rush. Definitely no rush. Like I said, I forgot. I didn't even mean to trade. He said 40 feeling like the new Alzheimer. Stop it, Ramon. Stop it. All right, people. So I will see you guys momentarily in the group chat, and I'll see you on Sunday back in live training, and I'll see you tomorrow on YouTube Live and the recap at Starbucks. Love, peace, and soul. Good night, y'all.